So I go to Skyvector, totally free website, put in N68 and KRDU just to check the weather along the route. So we can see that everything around here is clear skies. Winds are 3 knots, 050 at 3. You know, there's nothing in here to. Weather looks good at the origin, and everything here is clear with winds, 0 knot winds at the destination. So, and en route, all greens all along the way. There are no sigmets, no nothing. There's just all the mess is apparently over here somewhere, but nothing for us. So I don't have any weather to worry about. Next, I'm going to go into SimBrief. Also free. You do have to create a Navigraph account, but you do not have to buy a subscription if you don't want one. Just means you'll have older navigation data. And there's some. Oh, and you can't use the in-flight, the Microsoft simulator panel that I'll show you later. You won't have access to all the charts and stuff for that, I think. But by not having the subscription, you're going to get older data for SimBrief to use. So SimBrief is basically, it's a dispatching tool. So we're going to do new flight somewhere. Let's edit flight, name new flight. They just changed they updated it, did a whole new layout. So I'm a little, we're going to go from N68 to KRDU. We are flying the 208b. You know, it's such a beautiful day. You're going to pick like Charlotte or something, aren't you? And I'm going to tell you no. What was that, Winston-Salem? Yeah, no, we'll just use something closer. Honestly, we don't need an alternate on a day like today, but fine, we'll take KBUI. It's a little closer anyway. Let's see. That is correct. Cruise profile, yes. Don't care about the rest of that. No contingency fuel. It's a beautiful day. 30 minutes is fine. We'll probably fly this VFR, honestly. I may just tell it, no, I want to go direct. But anyway, we'll figure that out in a second. Because there's no reason to go IFR. Just for a short flight like this, I don't need it. No extra fuel. Passengers, we have 6. Cargo. Freight is 516. You don't need to put in 0 fuel weight. It'll calculate that. And then it says it doesn't have any other routes to show, but I could tell it that I just want to do ECT RDU. Whoop. Analyze route. There we go. Now just basically VFR. Is there anything I forgot? Blah, blah, blah. Departure runway 6. That makes sense. I think that's everything that I can think about. So let's generate the flight. And when I picked that aircraft out of this list, it's because I have saved them, all these airframes, with certain values that I have, you know, I've flown them a lot, so I've seen that, hey, basically this has a fuel factor of M09 -9. It makes SimBrief more accurate in how much fuel I need for the flight. So let's generate it. Really not much of a map. We're going direct. We're going to use the GPS to do all that stuff. Get VFR flight, and then it's downloading all this stuff automatically into the flight simulator thing, and then for me, it's into the navlog folder. That's just for my own personal use. So we have our flight plan. It's in a place where the flight simulator can get to it. So we can go here, hit space twice, load from PC, and we want to do that one. There it is. So we're coming from here, and again, you do not want to start on the runway. It will always, Microsoft or the flight sim will always try to start you on the runway, and you don't want that. So you have to zoom in until you can see, and I think it was parking 2, yeah. There we go. And make sure it didn't screw up our lovely straight direct path and it did give us an arrival. We're doing VFR, and quit that. Direct. There we go. And they'll tell us left downwind for something. Just no reason to do an IFR approach today. Waste of fuel. All right. So ramp 2, that's all good to RDU. So we'll tell it is ready to fly. And then Navigraph charts will say, look, similar flight plan detected. Good. Load it. No, really. There we go. And this is Navigraph, and this is the in-game panel. Okay, so it has loaded these. And I don't know what we're going to get at RDU with no wind. I bet they're landing 2-3 right, but I have to. We'll listen to Addis when we get closer. So we don't need to do anything with that. Let's just. Where is it? Well, there. Go away. I need the runway diagram for this place, though. No, there. The flight. Oh, they're down here. Quit being an idiot. There we go. So there is an AWOS for here, 120.72. And we start our pre-flight. Okay, make sure all switches are off. Off or normal on this panel, off, off. Set up the pedestal, which is emergency lever to normal. Throttle is all the way back. RPM is all the way forward. Fuel to cut off. Flaps are up. Trim is at takeoff. Up to the top we go. Fuel selectors are on. And get this out of my way. Battery is on. We have voltages. So let's go ahead and kick on the fuel pump. Avionics 1.
Harrisburg approach Barley 01, ready to copy
and
IFR
that's
clearance
our co-pilot.
All right.
Okay, we'll wait to start until we get this.
Barley 01 cleared to Raleigh Airport as filed. Climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure is 124.1 squawk 0674. Clearance void 30 minutes from now.
Ooh, that was weird.
Barley 01 read back correct. Good day.
Bugging the runway heading. Let's check our flight plan. Yes, that is. Not sure why this is here. I mean, that's the whole flight plan. I'm not sure why that's been inserted, but it works. Okay. GPS. All right, let's kick this pig. Need 12% on RPMs for the turbine. Add fuel.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
I was a little slow to get the beacon going, so yeah, I'm going to take a ding for that. Darn it. Way it goes. I wanted you want realistic rules, you pay realistic prices. And time to turn off the starter. And the fuel pump. Start the generator. Lots of voltages, generator showing good. Let's get our standby alternator on. Or turned on. And trip the generator. Alternator says it's on. It's showing on. Battery not discharging. Volts are good. Reset. Alternate says it's off. Confirmed off. Generator on. Lots of voltages. We're good. Okay. Beautiful day. No extra lights except for maybe for instruments. And then on the engine instruments. Okay. Make sure everything's readable. Altimeter is set. Second avionics. Don't need the radar. It's chilly. We'll turn on the bleed heat. Everything there looks good. Everything there looks good. Everything over here is correct. Remote compass is slaved and correct. Suction is good. Engines look nominal. Trons are nominal. Yep. Nominal trons. The kind of trons we like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start our taxi to get on our way to make our first bit of money. So, parking brake off. Time to get out of here. The co-pilot will take care of the radio stuff. Should, anyway.
November 68, traffic Barley 01 is taxiing to runway 6.
Come up here is just like last time.
November 68, traffic Barley 01
Nobody on final.
taking off runway 6 departure to the
Nobody
south.
on the nobody on final. Nobody on the runway. All right, so fuel condition high idle. Landing lights are on. Flaps. Fuel pump. We are ready for takeoff. Confirm flaps in the right position. Yep. Get on the runway. Again, nobody's coming. Nobody's there. We're out of here. All right. 40% load. Oil pressure and oil temperature look good. ITT looks good. We're out of here. Looks like we have a no-wind situation, so just rudder for torque. Watching speed. And rotate.
Airborne time logged.
Flaps up. Heading VS. Come on. Climb. Autopilot is being weird. There we go. Go autopilot.
Harrisburg departure Barley 01 is at 1,400 feet,
There
climbing
we go.
6,000 feet.
Barley 01 Harrisburg departure altimeter 30.05. Continue as planned.
Alright, that means we go to our... Let's switch over to nav mode on the GPS from heading. And just make sure the you always want to monitor the GPS to make sure it doesn't do something screwy. And usually if it does something screwy, it's something you did, but there have been occasions where I expected it to do a certain thing, put in the right information, and it went and did something else. So you're always going to be prepared to pull control back from it. That's more flight simulator stuff than it is on-air. Engines are good. Trons are good. So now we'll climb up to cruise, and normally I would then, when I get to cruise, I start pulling up on-air, and then I go to the job screen and start looking for my next flight if I'm flying, or I start arranging flights for the AI using the work order system. But in this case, we don't have our I'll show you, we don't have this yet, the passenger license. So we're going to spend our 2 points on this and this so that we can do passenger stuff, and so we can hire an AI pilot. So that's within 1,000 feet. We'll go back to the simulator. so that I can fly a leg, and then the AI can take the rest of the 14-hour trip. Or he'll take another 14 hours. Obviously, I'm not going to fly 14 hours. I don't have that kind of time. I have a regular job. But right, we're coming up on 6,000 feet. We'll pull back to our cruise settings here.
Barley 01 climb and maintain 8,000
Oh,
feet.
no, we're going to 8,000. Okay.
Climb and maintain 8,000 feet, Barley 01.
Okay, so if you look over here on the autopilot, we're going to take that up to 8,000 feet. We're going to go VS again. Vertical speed for the climb. And put our power back to climb power. Best rate for this aircraft is 115 knots. I'm not in that big a hurry. Probably do more of a cruise climb. You guys are getting a look at the Black Square 208 Cessna 208 Caravan analog instruments edition. So sure, it has a GPS, and you can configure that too. Figure what the other options are. Always fly it with this configuration, but you could fly it with. You could go real old school with the KX155 for your 2 radios, and that's it. You can put a 530 in it, yeah. But I usually fly it with the 750 and the 430. Whoa. What was that? Oh, is this a failure? It's saying trim, but it has all the power we've got. Uh-oh. What's going on? What the holy heck was that? Engines, ITT is good, RPMs, fine. Fuel flow, fuel quantity, pressures, temperatures. I don't see anything wrong. What the holy heck was that? Something else break? We've got bolts. Battery's not discharging. Nothing's in a weird position. Turn my landing lights off anyway. What the heck was that? That'll get your attention, won't it? Okay, I think we're good. Woo! Oh my. Okay, so that was freaky. Everything seems to be fine, and I don't see anything there. Fuel. I didn't do something stupid like leave. If I left those off, it never would have started. Didn't accidentally trip one or something. Autopilot's doing its thing. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna chalk that up to poltergeist. Okay, we need to start pulling back for cruise so we don't burn up all our fuel. What? What are you mad at me? Sorry. Dog in here. Alright, so it's cruise settings, which are 17, I think. It's been a while since I've flown this thing. Should probably... notes on it. Regular cruises. That's not helpful. 1700 to 1750. All right, so 1700 torque. Bring this down to 1750 on the props. Like I said, I have not flown this lately. I did used to fly. I fly it a lot, just not lately. So I had to pull up my notes. 1700 at 1750. All right, there you go. There's our cruise configuration that matches the fuel. And now you can see that we have an hour and some. Like I said, if this were, if I already had all the licenses and stuff we needed for passengers and AI and other flights, right now what I would be doing is pulling up OnAir and arranging work orders, or, you know, picking up the next jobs for me or what have you, figuring out where I want to build the next FBO or increase my fuel tank size. Doing all the strategy stuff while in cruise just makes sense. I mean, nothing else really happens in cruise except for whatever that poltergeisty thing was. Your other choice, which I can show you what that looks like, is I could go into I could accelerate time in the sim, but then, and that's why I'm not going to do it. Then so let's say we get there in 30 minutes when it should have been an hour and 20. When I get there, I won't be able to fly again.
Marley 01, contact Washington Center on 1 tree for decimal 15.
Until the whole hour and 20 is up.
134.
So I don't know if I'm going to fly next or if I'm going to hire AI and let them fly the next thing. I'm not sure. Probably, well, it depends, because there'll be a level mission, and it may be human only, so hard to say which way I'll go. But at the moment we are at 1700, 17, give me a little, 1750. Sucking down 375-ish pounds per hour. And we've got 800 pounds on board. So yeah, we have plenty of fuel. All good. Had to depart for a minute to let the dogs out. Of course, wouldn't happen on a real flight because you wouldn't be able to let them out. Well, I guess you could do it once, but pretty sure that's a crime. Did another one of the poltergeist things happen while I was gone? Everything looks good. Now, another thing, if I was doing an IFR flight, or even VFR long distance, that I would do is find all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. He says, there. You can, where is it? View PDF. So here we don't have enough, there aren't a bunch of waypoints, it's direct. But at each place you have the estimated fuel on board and actual. Estimated is a top number, and it says that, hey, when you get to top of climb you should have 779 pounds. Well, I'll actually go in here and say, okay, actually what I had was, let's say I actually had 785. Well, I'll put that in. This lets me, and I save them off into a directory. This lets, and I will do the final one. This one I will fill in whatever we have left, because it says we should have 278 when we stop, shut down at RDU. I keep these, and then I can go through them and say, hey, is SimBrief, you know, at least close enough, giving me the right amount of fuel to load, or is it loading me heavy or loading me light all the time? And then in SimBrief, you can go to your saved airframes. And so for here, the 208, you can change, let's see if I can find it, this, the fuel factor. Right now, -9 means I fly 9% more efficient than the database that SimBrief is working off of. And in cruise, I do a whole lot of messing around with RPM and torque and trying to find the most efficient. Then I also try to find the best speed. And when you do a SimBrief, you know, when you're planning a flight, you can tell it what profile you're using, whether you're planning on best speed or best economy. And I just make sure that I know, you know, get my aircraft set up using data so that when it tells me I need 902 pounds, I really needed 902 pounds. Because the more fuel you take, the less cargo you have, you know, you can carry. And that affects money. And we will definitely do a longer trip soon. Right now it's going to be a lot of these little level missions. And while I'll record them all, I won't make them on-air things. I'll just make it more. The flights will be there. And that's it. Last altimeter reading was 3004. Looks like set. Okay, that was weird. Sorry about that. Again, this is too close to me. And on really long cruise flights, what I actually do is like real work. So if I brought work from home or work home, then I'll just leave it cruising. And then on a second screen, I'll do real work or family finances or whatever.
Washington Center, Barley 018,000 feet.
You gotta do what you gotta do with cruise. And like I said, I don't want to warp because I'm planning on flying again.
Continue as planned.
I say that. Then again, I might just decide to have a adult beverage and go watch a movie. It's hard to say. I really enjoy flying, and I really enjoy the depth and the everything that OnAir brings, so that you're not just flying from place to place or flying this plane or that plane, but you're doing it for a purpose. A purpose, Mr. Anderson. Purpose is what binds us. Or something. I don't really remember what Smith says. But I remember purpose. And the stench. Just checking 1700, 1750. Nothing strange going on with fuel. You know, I don't know if one of the failures is a fuel leak, but you'd hate to not notice it, right? Granted, these are two separate wing tanks. They're both over wing tanks. Guess it would have been better to look that way. There. Yeah, they're over wing tanks. That's why your fuel control knobs, fuel selectors are up here. All gravity fed. It does. There is a, well, obviously not totally because it has a fuel pump. But honestly, the engines would run on full gravity feed. If that fuel pump died, wouldn't be a big deal. If you're in a low wing aircraft and the fuel pump dies, yeah, you're probably not getting any fuel to the engine. That's why you have multiple tanks and crossovers. When we get to multi-engines, well, I hope we don't have to play with all that, but you'll be able to see it. I actually don't know what all the possible failures in OnAir are. I've seen, I've lost, like, my attitude indicator. I think I've lost my ADI, my DI, direction indicator. I think I've lost an altimeter. I think it's been gauges mostly. I don't know if there are mechanical failures like your wing springs a leak and you're losing fuel. Or, you know, I imagine engine condition would control that more than anything. So you might end up with where the engine quits or... Good to be up high. I can see all sorts of fields I could land in. Apparently I don't want to try to land directly below me. It's like a forest. Aircraft and trees don't mix. Well, they do, but not very well. But yeah, I could make it to any number of those farm fields over there. And this is a good thing to be cognizant of, especially when you're in a single engine. I could make it to any one of those at glide. And my notes say best glide is 105 in this 208. We lose an engine, we trim for 105, look for a place. Once we find a place, then we run checks to see if we can get the engine restarted, figure out if we have a fuel problem, something else. And if we can't get it restarted, then we just continue with the plan and put her in the field. Or on a highway. Here I would probably choose a field. There's just... The 208 does not need a ton of runway. Normal landing distance is 1,836 feet. But you can do a short field with an engine now is, you know, kind of will be anyway because you're not going to have extra power. Just don't come in hot, full flaps. Try to be as slow as possible right before touching down and keep the nose wheel up when you're on a field or grass because you don't know how mushy it is. The last thing you want to do is rip off the nose wheel and put the prop in the ground. going to be expensive enough finding somebody to come out, take the wings off of it, and haul your airplane back to someplace, and then fix whatever caused the engine to die. I don't know if we can get RDU ATIS yet. I'm pretty far away. There we go. Okay. Really? Did it load? There's RDU. Bring up RDU. There you go. Not sure what that was about. Okay. So 123.8. Let's find out if we can reach that yet. So we're on comm. So 123.8. And let's light up comm 2. Nope. But we'll leave that on. It'll start yelling at us so we can get wind direction and active. I'm going to take, because the winds last I looked were 0 knots, you know, at 0 knots. I'm guessing it'll probably be 23 right. ILS. Well, for the IFR, I'm not flying IFR, but they may want to keep me out of. So the big guys, they like to land on these, and I'm this little 208, so they'll probably put me on 23 left, and they'll give me, you know, left-hand pattern. You know, enter left downwind for 23 left. And I can check. There's another tool you can check. I haven't found. What am I? Something's missing. Oh, it's on the same thing as this. Okay. So this will get the METARs for any airport out there. Meteorological reports. And we want KRDU. Another free website. Yes, that one. It didn't used to make you confirm that. So wind is now 0. It's still 0 at 000. Okay. And then if you go to the full one, you get an ad. Yeah, there's no wind. So, yeah, there's absolutely nothing here that says I have anything to worry about. And so I'll have to wait till I get ATIS to know what the plan is. But since we're VFR, it's not like I'm gonna need. I won't need any other chart other than the airport diagram. It won't be a standard approach. There won't be our standard arrival. It won't be an approach. It'll be visual. So they'll tell me. They'll either vector me to the downwind or tell me no, enter left downwind for something. I'll guess 23 left. Make your bets. Since I'm betting that way, I'll just set the aircraft up that way. So let's put our heading bug at 234 actually, because runway 23 is at 234 degrees. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Check that. That was close. That's 2, 3, 4. Parallax. Yeah, that's 2, 3, 4. Okay. I always thought a long time ago to bug runway headings, and it always pays off. especially when you're flying like a visual pattern. Well, everything's 90 degrees to 90 degrees to 90 degrees, right? So if you know where the runway heading is, when you set your downwind, this should be at the bottom, and you'll know you're flying the correct heading for the downwind. Especially when there's 0 knots of wind, you just fly exactly that. If you know what the wind is, you have to, you know, figure a wind component so you don't get blown off, you know, the distance that you're trying to keep in the pattern. But yeah, always bug your runway headings. It could never hurt. The only place it could cause a problem is if you're actually flying a route and you're navigating by the heading setting on your autopilot. Well, then obviously you won't be able to bug the heading. Guess you could do it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. Honestly, the only time I use heading is when I'm being vectored by aircraft, other than for, you know, bugging the runway heading, or, well, always, you know, even on takeoff I bug the runway heading, because you have to fly the runway heading until you're picked up by departure. So, yeah, I always bug the runway heading. But the only time I use heading on the autopilot, other than the check rides, is if I'm being given vectors. To like the initial approach fix or vectors to final, whatever. Then I'll use the heading bug for that. And then I'll just reset it. Once I hit the final, I'll go ahead and set it to runway heading, set my altitude for the go around out. But since we're VFR, if we're told to go around, we're just gonna, there's no, I mean, it's not like instruments where you literally have a certain whatever, you just re-enter the pattern. Just come off the end of the runway, get to, I think it's basically sea level here, right? 409, so 1,400 feet, turn left crosswind. And although I'm recording every one of these flights, and I'm halfway talking to myself, sign of impending mental collapse. For any of you that might remember Zork, it's an ancient text-based dungeon crawler from, I think like 1985. Not trying to show my age here. My kids will tell you I'm ancient. Looks like we have... Wow. Our estimated time en route really hasn't changed a whole lot. It's because I don't have any work to do. See, normally in cruise I go do stuff. I usually am like doing work orders. I mean, that's going to come again. I'm the only employee. This is the only aircraft. But within a few days, we're going to have a couple of pilots, a second plane. And also, if any of you decide as a human you want to fly for Barley's Regional Air Transport, I'd welcome anyone. I mean, lots of experience, no experience, not a problem. As long as you don't crash a lot. Bad for our reputation. As long as you can get from point A to point B with the cargo intact, you're in. If we get enough people that want to do that, maybe the next playthrough, we'll go over to Thunder and we'll start up our own virtual airline. And you can start one on, pretty sure you can. Never really looked into it, but let's go here. Yeah, you can start, yeah, we can start a virtual airline here. And we might have to. Again, I haven't dealt with the having human pilots thing, so I'm interested to learn it. So as long as you're willing to learn it with me, and whatever confusion ensues out of that, then yeah. I'll put the Brat tag on you. It's our 4-letter airline moniker. Barley's Regional Air Transport, Brat. Let's see. 3005 was the last altimeter call. Switch that. Engines, ITT. Pressure and temperature, fuel flow, and fuel quantity, all good. Suction is good, so our vacuum system is working. Voltages are good. We have many electrons. Go, autopilot, go. It's working very hard. It should be paid more. Well, it's good that the beginning of this series is all beautiful, you know, blue sky VFR weather. I think it would be, and that's good for the check ride and this first flight. But eventually, we're gonna do some IFR stuff through nasty IFR. I mean, I avoid thunderstorms totally, but I'm talking, you know, clouds, rain, clouds that are just above minimums, so that basically, if you know, you might see the lights like 400 feet above the runway right before minimums. I have had several of those flights, and they are sweat-inducing. The other thing I'm going to turn on that usually is on, and I guess I just forgot this time, is, yeah, I did. But I don't see it. Is, well, wait for it to start up. That's not it. Is it up yet? There it is. The FSLTL traffic injector, so that it feels more alive, right? It's already installed, everything. It's up to date. So start it. It's more efficient than Microsoft's traffic. So I always have Microsoft Live traffic turned off. It's got issues. So now it's injecting a bunch of flights and stuff. So now what you'll hear is ATC issuing more calls to all of these different aircraft, and there'll be more. But it looks like we got somebody going. Somebody's going to Hartsfield, Atlanta.
Charlie 01, contact Washington Center on 133.2.
Heathrow, Logan, Canada,
133.2
DC.
for Barley 01.
Yeah.
Washington Center, Barley 01, 8,000 feet.
So we can.
Barley 01,
It's free.
Center
This is free, by the way.
0.08. Continue as planned.
3008. We were at 05, so we are. Uh-oh, I just heard a click. What did I change? Oh, I think it was just this. It's the only thing about the zoom thing, and I have done the zoom fix before. 300. Is that showing? Yeah, okay. 6, 7, 8. this. But yeah, especially, I mean, for VFR stuff, just having the airport diagrams right there with all the information, I do like this. It's kind of like a knee board, you know, which anybody who flies VFR is familiar with. That just has all your basic information on it. It has your plates. The rest I have to keep on little notepads and things like that. Like, and I mean by notepad, some of them I have a physical notepad on my desk, and then I have, like, you know, the Microsoft notepad on my desktop on my other window that's got my notes on flying this aircraft. Best rate of climb, settings for economy, for best cruise, for fast cruise, landing takeoff distances, notes about the startup and shutdown procedures, that kind of stuff. And then I have checklists and spreadsheets. And since all the planes that I tend to fly now, I have flown a lot, they're truly checklists. I go and do each step, and then I just scan the checklist to make sure I didn't forget something, then move to the next thing. When I first have to jump into a new plane, I call them do lists, because I have to literally, do that, okay, and do that, okay, do that, okay. But after you've learned the plane and you've been in it a lot, you can do 6 or 7 steps and then just scan the checklist and go, yeah, I didn't forget anything.
Washington Center, Frontier Flight 807, flight level 3.
And honestly, the one thing that I miss consistently, and I have tried putting it in different places on the checklist. I've highlighted it in red. I'm about to, like, write it on the back of my hand, is the damn beacon for startup. In a real plane, I have never forgotten that. But somehow in the simulator, it doesn't hit me that I need to let everybody know that I'm about to start this thing up. I don't know. I'm goofy as crap, but it's the one thing I miss. No other items on a checklist for any of there's like 4 or 5 planes that I fly a lot. It's the stupid beacon. I mean, it's not stupid. It has a purpose. But you know what I mean. Out of all the things.
Washington Center, Sunwing 707, flight level 380.
So now you're starting to hear all the calls for the other aircraft.
707 Washington Center, continue to work as planned.
Hopefully I just didn't make RDU so busy that we're going to, because we're a slower aircraft, I mean, our approach speed is like 90 knots. There's a good chance that the controllers will ram a 737 up our butt and then tell us to go around. I don't know why it's not them going around. I mean, but I mean, once you clear me to land, just because you didn't give enough separation, knowing what my approach speed is, that shouldn't be my problem. But when they tell you to go around, that's what you got to do, and it happens. And when I just added all that traffic in, I might have guaranteed that we get to do a lap.
Marley 01, contact Washington Center on 121.675. Good day.
Going to 121.675 Barley 01. Washington Center, Barley 01, 8,000 feet.
Marley 01, Washington Center, altimeter 30.08, continue as planned.
But you're probably seeing the value of letting the co-pilot handle the radios here. It's just a lot of handoffs. You know, nothing's being said. It's literally, I mean, basically we've been handed off to 3 or 4 different frequencies for Washington Center. So they're moving us from one controller to another within the center. But we are a ways from a descent.
Washington Center, Frontier Flight 807, flight level 360. Frontier Flight 807, Washington Center, continue to Lunky.
Am I the only one, or does the door latch not match the placard? Because latch should be right. I'm not seeing that wrong, am I? I've never actually been in a real TO208, so I wouldn't know. But that would tell me that up is open and back. Let's go look at the other one. See, these are the fun things you do. See, this one looks correct. So open is up and latch is... Oh, so what they did... So this is probably just a... This is probably a black square mistake. Is they didn't flip this. They took this placard, which is correct, right? Up would be open, and it makes sense. And they just put it over here, and they didn't want to make another one because you couldn't just flip it. All the words would be backwards. But they could have flipped the diagram. So yeah, the diagram is wrong. Ah, too funny. The things you do when you have an hour and a half cruise. Find all the little stuff. I don't know. Have you guys messed with that realism mod where it like puts passengers in and then they sit back there and sneeze and cough and whatever? It's you got to pay for it, and I don't know how much I'm going to care unless you guys tell me it's like amazing. With supposedly no wind, I'm not sure why the autopilot's flying so far off the nav line. That's now the 750 will normally show you. Oh, stop. Okay, so it's not zero. Well, we're aloft, so yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, we've got a crosswind. That's why it's flying over here. That's what it takes to maintain this track.
Marley 01, contact Washington Center on 135.4. Good day.
Going to 135.4 Barley 01. Washington Center, Barley 01, 8,000 feet.
Barley 01, Washington Center, altimeter 30.07, continue as planned. Washington Center, American 2741, is at flight level 250, descending 13,000 feet. American 2741, Washington Center, continue as planned. 4.75 Sky West, 4127.
All right, we got our ATIS information for RDU.
Altimeter tree 0.06. ILS runway 23 right and ILS runway 23 left in use.
Yep, 23 left. That's what we're. Yeah, we'll be given 23 left, I'm sure.
All aircraft read back hall short instructions.
127.75 Barley 01.
Contact, you have kilo.
Washington Center, Barley 01, 8,000 feet.
Barley 01 Washington Center altimeter, tree 0.08. Continue to Romeo Delta uniform as planned.
Whoa.
contact Washington Center on 135.4. Good day. .4 for WestJet 2505. Barley 01 contact Washington Center on 118.75. Good day.
118.75 for Barley 01. Washington Center, Barley 01, 8,000 feet.
Barley 01 Washington Center altimeter, tree 0.09er. Continue to Romeo Delta uniform as planned. Washington Center, Delta 84 Heavy, flight level 350. Delta 84 Heavy, Washington Center, continue to buyback as planned. Delta 8 for heavy contact Washington Center on 127.75. Good day. Going to 127.75 Delta 8 for heavy. 1857, flight level 370. Rouge 1857, Washington Center, continue to Urquham as planned. Washington Center on 127.75. Good day. Going to 127.75, talk off 590.
Don't let the fuel low indication scare you. Almost there. We have 400 pounds left. 15 minutes at 400 is 100. So. Sorry for all the nausea-inducing camera movements, but I had to go make myself a beverage before we start the approach. My timing is impeccable.
134.3 Barley 01. Raleigh approach Barley 01 8,000 feet.
Barley 01, Raleigh approach altimeter 30.09er. Continue to Romeo Delta uniform as planned.
It's not an instrument approach, but I always have as many nav aids going my direction as possible. You never know what could happen. So having the ILS tuned in is not a bad thing, just like we're VFR, but I've got the RDU VOR tuned in here so that I know that we're on track to get there with the course we got laid in. So if the GPS takes a crap, I can still get to RDU. And if the VASI lights, or I think they're PAPIs at RDU, the PAPI lights aren't working, I'll have vertical guidance here. Oh, we actually have to do something now.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet Barley 01.
Set it for 5,000 feet. I'm going to go with... say negative... Yeah, 1,500 down. Pull back the throttle. Let's go full RPMs. No, actually need the approach plate. I just needed the ILS indicator. So yeah, we are descending. But I like having as many nav aids, radios, whatever, pointed at my destination or the direction or the next waypoint or whatever is possible. So that if one fails, okay, well, just look at another one. Miles out. Well, it's gone to altitude mode, so we'll bring our power back in. There's the airport. Okay, so we can now even move nav 2 over to the ILS 1085. Yep, so everything is tuned to the ILS. We don't need this anymore. We need this one. Okay, so we're coming from the north. I'm expecting they're going to give me 2-3 left. So it'll be a... Wow, that'll be a left downwind. So I guess out here it'll have to be a wide pattern because I don't want to cross 2-3 right. Cut across. They might, I mean, it'd be smarter if they gave me a left downwind for 2-3 right, come in, downwind, yeah. But they like to put the smaller planes, like me, over on 5 right, 2-3 left, so. But it makes you, it would make me cross. I mean, if I take a left downwind, where am I going to start that at? What, here? That's a big question. Because otherwise, if I start it, like my normal distance would probably be around here. Then I have to cross the departures from 2-3 right here at 1,700 feet. That's not a good idea. Yeah, well, either it should be right traffic to 2-3 left, or I'll have to come in here. Don't like that either. We'll see what fun they have in store for me. Do you think we can see the airport? We should get a descend to and instructions for pattern entry like now. But there's the crazy parking structures. Terminal. I think two's over. Is 2 over here? And then 1's there. I forget. The good news is I'm not hearing a lot of radio calls, so there must not be a lot of traffic going into or out of RDU today. It's Saturday, so okay. And the way I have my UTC time set, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, I mean, yeah, not a lot of people depart on 2 o'clock on Saturday. So yeah, good. Maybe they won't shove a 737 up my butt when I'm on approach. Maybe. Okay, we're pretty close here. Why am I not getting... I should be getting instructions here. Well, let's see if we can try to wake.
Raleigh approach Barley 01, requesting vector to next waypoint.
See if we can wake them up.
Barley 01, continue to Romeo Delta uniform turning and following, heading 200, resume on navigation.
200, which
Continue
is...
to Romeo Delta uniform turning and following, heading 200, resume on navigation, Barley 01.
Okay. Wait, can't... I should have
Raleigh
been...
approach Barley 01 would like to cancel IFR.
I didn't know it was IFR in the first place. I never asked for that.
Barley 01 IFR flight plan is canceled, radar service terminated.
I wasn't paying attention. My fault.
1000. Maintain VFR.
Yeah,
Frequency
that,
change approved.
yeah.
Good day.
That's my fault. Totally my fault. I didn't notice.
Raleigh approach Barley 01 is type Cessna Caravan.
No,
2
we're
miles
not.
north of Raleigh,
My co-pilot's
5,000 feet.
drinking or
Request
something.
flight following.
Barley 01 Raleigh approach.
Yeah.
Squawk 4202.
Yeah, we're definitely too high.
Squawk 4202 Barley 01.
We're past the airport.
Barley 01 radar contact.
Thanks.
1 mile northeast of Raleigh, 5,000 feet.
Yeah, thanks.
Altimeter tree 0.08.
Yeah, I should have caught that earlier.
Roger Barley 01.
But they gave me that descend, and I thought,
Tower
oh, okay.
Barley 01 is 1 miles northeast, 5,001.
There. Now she's doing her job.
Kilo to land.
Wait, where's this? Oh, it's going to keep circling the airport.
Raleigh Tower.
Oh, that's...
Altimeter tree 0.08, wind 019er at tree. Enter left downwind runway 2 tree right.
See, that's what I was expecting.
Enter left downwind runway 2 tree right Barley 01.
For 23 right. That is exactly what I was expecting. Somehow... because I remember when we left the other airport, she filed an IFR, even though it was supposed to be VFR, she filed for it. Okay, so left downwind 23 right. We'll just keep... So we're on... Left. 23 right. And then left downwind's going to be... Yeah. That's alright. Okay, so we'll just kind of follow this, and then we'll do a 180 while we're losing altitude. It's going to be okay. I'm really not worried. It's not a big deal. Two, three. There, left downwind. Okay, so we'll turn to the left. We'll do basically a little like a 200-degree turn here, because the whole idea is we need to lose a little more altitude. We need to fly the reciprocal of our runway. Whoa. For a left pattern. That's going to cause me to overfly basically the... It does pick some strange things. Because to fly left pattern for 2-3 right, which is this one, we'll have to overfly 2-3 left. That's too tight a pattern too, so a little out of it, which means that's going to put me in a... Yeah, I don't know if they've thought this out, but we do need to get lower quickly. So, there. See what I'm saying? You can't fly a left pattern inside of the other runway. It doesn't let you. I mean, there's not enough space. It'll be a terrible pattern. So I'm totally visual now. Screw the GPS. Everything else. Right now we're just drop some flaps. Drop power. Trim for speed. Right now we're trimming for VSI. We're just hoping. This is going to be... We're definitely too high. That's why power's at idle. I'm going to fly a wider pattern. That is the right airport. Yeah, whatever. But now look at the direction indicator. See why I bugged the runway heading? Makes it easy to fly the downwind. I know all I got to do is keep that at the bottom. And I'm flying the perfect downwind for that. While I'm trying to lose a crap ton of altitude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead another notch of flaps. Landing lights are on. RPM's full, high idle, fuel condition.
Harley 01 wind 019 at tree. Clear to land runway 23 right.
019 at 3, so...
Clear to land runway 23 right,
Not
Barley
a big deal.
01.
Okay. We're getting down to... Slowly getting down to pattern altitude. Start bringing some power back in. Just keep the... And I definitely have the wrong ILS figured in, because I think it's for the other runway. It's easy to get discombobulated. And time to turn. I could extend the approach. I extended it a little, but I could have extended it more if I was worried. I'm not. This plane is exceptionally easy to land. And now all I'm doing is bringing my bug to the 90-degree point so that I know I'm flying an accurate base. That's why I bug my runway headings. We want remember 23 right, 23 right. Keep that in our heads. Let's not be that news story. Wow. Am I being... Why is it like I'm being blown off course seriously to the right? I'm not, but it looks like I am. Whoa. Okay, still not time to turn yet. Because we need the right runway, not the left one. There's 2-3 left there. And 2-3 right. Just keep my bug at 90. We're pretty... This is definitely a long final. So we'll be able to lose whatever altitude we want in time. But look at the ground. Doesn't it look like we're being blown out here? Like, seriously? For a 3-knot wind? That doesn't make any sense. Turn. Late turn. Full flaps, lights are down. Gear is always down. Flaps are full. Now let's line up. Alright. We're good here, so if I had to guess, I can't see the lights. It feels like we're on course. I mean, I could tune the 2-3 right ILS, but I have to go look at it, and I'm kind of busy. Got hands going everywhere right now. I can barely see the PAPI lights, and I'm on. It says I'm on glide slope. So we want to keep our VSI at 500. Since we're at full flaps, wow.
Wind 240 at 21 knots.
Where did that come from? The last wind reading was like 3 knots. Well, that explains why I was getting blown off course. 240 at what, 21? Holy crap. That's a huge difference. I'm landing 243. So that's from the right. Or 234, sorry. Still from the right. Well, that was a huge change. What happened to 000 at 0? Crap. Yeah, I'm low. According to the PAPI lights. I don't feel low. Speed is fine. Oof. Yeah, this wind is nuts. Okay, there we go. You know, I think we're right there. We're right where we're supposed to be. A little high. There we go. So a slight crosswind from, well, slight crosswind from the right. The crosswind component is slight. Let's get her lined up. There we go. I like it. I like it a lot. Power's out. Just keep the nose down the runway. Ah, that stutter is
Landing time
butter.
logged.
Reversers. Brakes. Reversers are out.
Charlie 01, exit runway when able.
Reverser, singular. There we go. Good landing. I'm happy with that one. Could have been a little closer to center line, but I'm okay with it. Landing lights are off. Flaps are up.
Charlie 01, contact ground on 121.9er.
Alright, go ahead and... Alright.
121.9er for Barley 01.
Okay. Tune on the ground. 121.9. North parking. 4.
Raleigh ground Barley 01 request taxi to North Parking.
Charlie 01, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Delta Bravo 7 Foxtrot Kilo.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Delta Bravo 7 Foxtrot Kilo Barley 01.
Oh, crap. Oh, okay, we're going this way. Okay, that's where I wanted to go. We're good. Delta Bravo 7 Foxtrot Kilo, yep. That's where I wanted to go. Nope. Nobody coming. Nobody there. RDU is just not very busy today. Good for me. Now see when you... What happened to that 21 knot wind? Look at that windsock. What the... I mean, I definitely noticed on landing that it wasn't there, but... What happened to 240? There's 0 wind. That's crazy. Somebody got it wrong. See if they have anybody waiting to park us. I mean, we're a small company, so, you know, how many people we got? There's somebody there. Whoop, nope, not there. No, stop it. There. I think he's facing this way. He's got the sticks up. So I'm going to come in on this line. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And stop. And put on the parking brake, he says. There. Parking brake is all yours. Alright, we can turn off our landing light. That we've... Okay, we already did. That's good. Flaps are already up. Let's clean up this aircraft. Let's see. We do not need avionics 2. We do not need the fuel booster. We do not need the alternate. We do not need heat. What else do we not need? Make sure there should be no lights on except for the begin. That is true. This all looks good. We can turn off our... these. There we go. I think we are done. Alright, let's turn off the engine.
Engine off time logged. The flight is finished. It has been monitored
Yay,
by OnAir.
level 2. Get excited. So for those of you who are just watching the flight for the simulator part, I'm using OnAir to decide what flights I fly. And I started a brand new playthrough, so that's part of it. There's a whole playlist that goes through the OnAir stuff and what we're doing, but And that's the whole flight from N68 to RDU. Thanks for watching. Barley out.